Hi, this is Brent Satoris with Search Engine Journal. We're here at PubCon Vegas. I'm here with Erin Everhart, who is the lead manager of digital marketing at Home Depot.
Hey,
Hi,
how are
welcome.
you?
So I understand tomorrow you're speaking, on a panel that really speaks to the buy-in to higher exec levels. I think it was C-level suite, C-suite. What is it called?
I think it's proving the value of SEO to the C-suite. But really,
Okay.
I mean, it can be any person that you deal with that's not necessarily search friendly.
And I think that that's a point that we see come up a lot in search marketing is that people will say, look, I buy into this concept, but I have a really hard time getting my higher ups to buy into it. Do you think that there are certain things that people who are watching this, who are listening, could take away to focus on? Are there certain areas that you feel like in today's marketplace are really crucial for execs and are good for the buy-in?
Yeah, so much of it just comes down to setting the right expectations first. So if you work day to day in the SEO field, you're consumed in it, right? So you know the jargon and you deal with it on so level basis, but you kind of forget to step outside and talk SEO like when you're talking to people who don't know what it is. Speaking their language, talking about really actionable metrics that they want to hear. Most of the time that relates back to visits and revenue, right? C-suites or higher ups don't necessarily have the time to get into the nitty gritty. They don't really care about bounce rate, and they love keyword rankings though, they do, but really talk about how it's going to impact their overall business.
And is that something you think that they should actually go to and find out? Is there research? Is there something they should figure out, people they should talk to in the company to kind of figure out what are the metrics that matter?
Yeah, and I think that you can get a good idea from talking to those different people, but more often than not, from what I'm hearing, is it's visits and revenue, right? So they want to understand, hey, how is this impacting my traffic? So don't go and talk about how, well, we've dropped 15 spots in keyword rankings, and that, they'll understand that, but if you show, well, that actually counted to 35% of our total traffic to this page, right? And that's another big thing is we focus so much on the SEO segmented traffic, but we don't really think about how it impacts the overall site. And if search is driving 50, 60, sometimes 70% of your traffic, it's not just the SEO channel that's impacted. It's really overall impact from there.
So what are some of the things that you do? Do you visualize some of your data? Do you focus on kind of like specific bullet points that lead to that kind of like, this is the data, but this is what it means for the company? What are some of the tactics that you use in your company to kind of present that?
Yeah, great question. Visualizing the data is so easy to be able to see, right? Everyone, when they look at line graphs, they want to see things up and to the right? So things are improving. But if you see things down to the right, that's a very key and visual way to say, hey, this just isn't performing really well. Sure. And when it also comes to getting buy-in, it's really hard and it's really easy to get swept up in things, right? So I always try to start small on some SEO tactics. So don't go in there and pitch, hey, we have a multi-million-dollar project, we need to rewrite all of the URLs. They're not going to buy into that right away, right? Like maybe fix your redirects at first. It's a quick, easy process, and that's a really good way to show those quick wins and show how SEO works, and then you're going to be able to get funding and buy-in for some of those larger things like site-wide URL rewrites or changing your architecture.
Sure, I was just saying maybe picking some things that you know will work, like things that will have a good impact so that you can kind of get that rapport and get them bought in. I've also heard of people focusing on improvements that actually will credit to the individual that they're speaking to. So if like they're responsible for certain things or they have certain initiatives, to focus on things that will help them accomplish their initiatives so that you almost become their friend.
Absolutely. I mean, a huge part of what we have to do as SEOs is relationship build, right? I mean, everyone will claim SEO is important, but they may not have the budget to back it up because SEO is still extremely underfunded when it comes to paid media. So going out there and building those relationships and showing how this is going to impact them or their business. I work with a handful of different stakeholders at Home Depot, from our PR team to our social team to the individual merchants who run our specific categories. And every time I talk to them about SEO, I frame the conversation a little differently to say, hey, PR, this is how it's going to help your brand impressions and your media impressions if we work together on the right linking structure.
So if anybody, I mean, obviously you have a wealth of knowledge in this, and this is something that you speak about regularly. How can people find more information from you? Is there a certain account that you tend to update more in social, or a place where you're blogging right now?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter at Erin Everhart. I also blog regularly at Search Engine Land, and I'll be at Search Engine Journal Summit in Atlanta here, so you can certainly come and see me speak there.
Awesome, thank you, Erin.
Thanks
appreciate
so much.
Cheers.
This is Kelsey Jones, Executive Editor of Search Engine Journal, and I'm here today with Guy Kawasaki, Chief Evangelist of Canva. Guy, thanks so much for joining us. I know you did a keynote today at PubCon about personal branding and social media.
Conferences I attended, the speakers were fantastic. The weather here has been amazing. I mean, this location, the hotel.
The thing I'm really liking about the SEJ Summit is the 3 takeaways structure.
Yes.
I'm leaving with way more.
I also like the single session format for conferences.
I agreed to be a speaker here because I think above all else, the quality of people who attend the meeting, something to be said about the fact that you can't just pay to come here. It's by invitation only.
What I've really liked about the speakers is that it's been very well-rounded. We focused on content generation ideas.